Okay, today we're going to talk about fire, anger, rage, all of those sweet little emotions that we were never allowed to have, especially if you are in a female form. It's not proper, it's not polite, it's not ladylike. And even as men, like, especially if the anger was not coming out in a productive way, you might have been taught to squash it, because obviously, beating the crap out of someone would not have been a good productive use of anger. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to practice some things that will move it through. So I teach people somatic healing and somatic feeling, which is getting into your body. So actually feeling the feelings. What we want to do with anger and rage is let it be here in a healthy way. Let it flow through. We don't want to stuff it. We don't want to project it. We want to let it flow in a really healthy way. So we're going to do many exercises to show you different options depending upon what you're working through, what your, emotional composition is at the time, what space you actually have. Like if you have space to growl versus if you're like, around your family and your little kids and you got to go do something quietly in the bathroom. So we'll go through all of those. I will also drop some tips in the comments. Yeah, let's do it. So first things first, what you want to start with all the time is just anchoring into your body. Most of us were not practiced, not taught to even be in our body. So first, let's just shake out whatever's here. And this is a good first start to feeling angry. So just putting sounding to it is really helpful, because that helps key into the diaphragm. So and just with the exhale of taking a deep breath in through your nose and then using the exhale vocally. So that right there is a really good place to start. So just shaking it out. Just do audible, like water off a duck's back. You see ducks fight, and then they go like this, and then they swim away. So shaking is super helpful. So let's just take a minute to drop into our body. You can close your eyes. You can be sitting or standing, it doesn't matter, but just anchor in down to your core, down to your root. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Just sink down into your pelvic floor, into your root, into your sacrum. Just feel behind your eyes, notice your peripheral vision. You can feel and sense to the left and right of you, to the front and back, above and below. Give a little swallow to relax your tongue and throat. Feel your diaphragm and your lungs, your rib cage moving in and out. And give a little squeeze and release of your bladder. Tune in down to your pelvic floor. Feel your feet on the ground and feel the weight of gravity, like a big hug from Mama Gaia. Notice where you're feeling held, and just allow your body, as much as it wants to just relax into this space. Okay, so now that we are in our bodies, you may open your eyes. You can be sitting, standing, whatever you prefer. I prefer to be standing when I'm angry and want to move the energy, because I want to just move the energy, move my body. So we'll just go through many different practices. Whatever of these works, in whatever combination, choose your favorites, try them all, combine them together, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. There are tons of resources also, like just do a general search on YouTube, and like Wim Hof has a lot of good stuff on like fire breath. That would be really helpful as just a regular practice of just the fire breath, because basically what happens is a lot of anger is stored in our belly, and breathing is one of the best ways to move that up and out. So we'll do some exercises like that, but Wim Hof, I think it's WIMHOF. Tons of free stuff on YouTube. Just type up like Wim Hof fire breath. That would be a really good regular practice. So one of the ways to do a fire breath is like the dragon breath. So what your goal is to be breathing in through your nose and then out of your abdomen with a long tongue, breathing from the back of your throat like you're a dragon breathing fire. So you can picture yourself torching someone, not really, because it's not a positive use of energy. But that's the image you're going for, is like a fire breathing dragon. And when you're pissed, when you're raging, when you're angry, you'll be able to do that pretty easily. So it's breathing in through your nose and just really forcing it out in a hiss. You want the tongue to be out. You want the hiss to come from the back of your throat. And you want the pressure in your belly. So your abdomen will be clenched, like your stomach muscles. When you breathe out, you want them to clench while you're breathing long tongue and like hissing. And some variations of this. So let's just practice that for a minute. So, and going like this can sometimes help. So just like a full somatic. And you can make it a hiss, like if you don't have a lot of privacy of noise, or if you have privacy and can make noise, it's really great to do a deep, like with your actual voice, like feel into what feels better in the moment. And it may be both, but the premise of this like dragon breath is to literally be breathing the fire out of your belly. And you can just do it over and over and over, just in just whatever way feels really good. And your body will know what feels good. Like you might just be and like literally growling. Let's move into the next one. So if you have the space to just like growl, it sometimes helps to get a towel and just like make the sounds while you're getting the actual tension from the towel and getting your whole body involved in it. If that feels good to you. Sometimes that doesn't feel good and it actually kind of propels the anger for some people. Other times, super helpful. If you don't have a space where you can be vocal, then you can just go and just like squeezing the towel. Or you can do the breath into it, like, you know, doing the fire breath, doing the growl, like growling into the towel. You can bite it, like whatever feels somatically good, like your system will let you know how it wants to release, as long as you're doing it in a way that is not projecting it out. Like don't be picturing someone else like as you're doing this as much as you can, because you don't want to be sending energy out to them. You want to just be understanding that, like, okay, if something triggered me out here, that's just a sign that they were holding, showing me that I have that trauma in my body. I have this anger already in my body. They are showing me where it is. So don't make it about them. Just say, okay, great. My body is storing this for me. It might be from last year or, 40 years ago. My body has been storing this. It might be a huge somatic buildup of stuff that's now being triggered. We're in a huge time of fire and heat right now and pressure, which is great, but it doesn't feel great. It feels really terrible to be wanting to flame throw all of your favorite people. And maybe they aren't your favorite people also. But the point is, be in your body and be with the feelings and sensations, trying to move the energy through. So moving the fire and the heat out of your belly, and that's where the Wim Hof breath can come in, that fire breath, or just whatever feels like you can just get it out. And it may just be short bursts of that. And what might follow is like massive tears and sobbing and grief, and let that come. Because often what has happened is anger is a movement energy. It's wanting something to change. So either boundaries that need to be set, or some action that needs to be taken, something that needs to be voiced, but not from the space of anger later when you're in a calm, grounded space. It's movement energy. It's like we got to get this thing done. Like there's something that needs to be done here. After you get through that, often you get to the really hurting pieces, who the anger is protecting. You know, so this little hurt gal down here, if you haven't seen the workshop, the Somatic self-love workshop, also on this YouTube channel, watch that, because it's really helpful to understand what's happening in your body. So you're not wrong because you're angry or rageful. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not, you know, like a lot of people have shame with their anger. Anger is a holy sacred thing. And we need it. It shows us where we got to get moving, where we got to get boundaries up, where we got to get, you know, it's our protective thing. So we don't want to be putting it out on people. We don't want to be acting from that place. We don't want to be flame throwing boundaries. We want to feel it in our body, somatically move it through, and then go back and say, okay, here's what needs to happen here. Here's the boundary I need to set. Here's the conversation I need to have. Here's the way I need to start interacting differently in the world. But whatever angered you, whatever's triggering you, is simply showing you what's already in here. What else? Other silent things are just that really deep breathing from your belly. Like if you don't have the space to vocalize, so just, but it's most helpful to get your tongue out. I know it doesn't look pretty, but like you can look at yourself in the mirror, see how angry of a face you can make, which then it might be kind of fun. Anyway, so breath out of the belly, focus on that fire breath, that dragon breath. Other things that can be helpful are, you know, working it out, like dancing it out. If you have a really good, not a rage song, like a heavy metal, like really negative energy song, but like, you know, like an uplifting, like spirit righty kind of song, like Nako Medicine for the People, something like that. That's just like, you could dance it out, but make sure it's not a really low energy, like, you know, heavy metal kind of a thing, unless that's your thing and it feels good, but like, make sure it's not super low, dense vibration, because that will actually bring you down. So if you have like a, you know, a song that just really fires you up and lights you up, angry dance to that, or like get out and go for a run, or get in the yard and, you know, get a shovel and start digging. Move your physical body, get things flowing, but don't ignore the actual anger that's here. Like this is righteous, it's holy, it has a purpose, it has a message, not generally the message we think it does about whatever is causing it, but understanding like, oh, this is held in my body temple, it's here for a reason. Let me feel through it, then let me connect into what the message is, and then set any boundaries, have any conversations that you need to after you're in an online place. Okay, message me with questions. Happy practicing, happy anger dancing, happy dragon breaths. Feel free to send me pictures of your ugliest, most gnarly dragon breath. And let me know if it would be helpful to have a full-blown workshop on this. I know this is not something we are practiced at. I know this is not something that we like to feel. It doesn't feel good to feel super angry. I totally get it. And it's time. There's lots of things in the world that are making us angry, and it's okay on purpose. Like it's held in our system. It's not even really about that. So feel through it, get back into the aligned place, and all will be well. Blessings.